tall are you?
Without the shoes, 6'7", with the shoes, about 7'2".
Wow.
You know. But if you lived in Northern Ireland and you're over 6'6", you get disability benefit.
What?
Yeah, instead of 200 quid in my account every week. Lovely. Just got to do this interview. I don't know who these people are. Oh my God! Hi. Oh, nice to meet you.
How are you, Banksie?
Oh, I'm so excited to see you.
Was there anyone on that phone?
Yeah, there was about 17 people calling me all at once. It's so
busy.
nice. I know, RuPaul's just always there for me these days. How are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm good, busy, very busy.
Yeah, I thought you might say that somehow. Thanks for making me look massively underdressed.
I know, I thought, well, I'm coming to a coffee shop at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, I might as well put a party dress on.
Hey, good choice for the coffee shop,
Yeah,
by
it's
the way.
beautiful, isn't it?
We always get our guests to choose where we go. Why have you chosen here?
Feel Good Club is one of my favourite queer-owned venues in Manchester. I've been working here for probably about 3 years. We have a cabaret called Mischief Cabaret.
Okay.
That has been a sellout success and a real gem of the Northern Quarter queer scene, which is so lovely. And it's also a venue owned by two amazing queer owners.
They're great, aren't they?
What are their names? Oh no, Amy and Kira. No.
They can hear you, by the way.
I know. Literally, they work in the venue. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's good to see.
But it's lovely to be here, and they've taken care of me, so I thought I'd take care of them and bring more customers in. You. Oh, great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Lovely.
The cereal for the French toast.
Oh, stunning. Thank you so much, honey.
And
Oh,
Thank you.
beautiful. Ketchup, please.
Thank you very much.
Oh, and the staff are so attractive here.
The staff are so
gorgeous.
attractive.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Although it just made me sound creepy when I said
But
it.
when I say it, it's a compliment.
Yeah, but when I say it sounds creepy.
You can go to jail then.
Right, dig in.
Okay, they only gave us one potato smiley face.
But which one of us should have it?
Me. Oh, I'm going through Pride. I'm allowed to eat
are.
as many of these as I want.
I did think, because we haven't met before, and when I was there, I thought, like, how will I recognise them?
20 feet tall walking in.
Yeah.
Is that them? No. Very demure woman.
How tall are you?
Without the shoes, 6'7", with the shoes, about 7'2".
Wow.
You know, it's not a fun time for the people who have to talk to me.
Do you like being tall? I've got tall friends that just don't like it.
Oh, I used to hate it, and now I like it. But I just remember, nothing is made for you. You know, you walk into a door frame, you bang your head. I naturally now, for years, have had to do that all the time. Just bend under things. But if you lived in Northern Ireland and you're over 6'6", you get disability benefit.
What?
Yeah, something like that. No, in Ireland, not Northern Ireland, Republic of Ireland.
Is that right?
Because the world is built for someone 6'6" and under. If you're over 6'6", then technically you're at a disadvantage.
So you could park anywhere?
Yeah. Well, I'd get disability benefit. I'd have 200 quid in my account every week. Lovely. I don't want it now.
No.
I'm
Me, you
fine.
having to leave Manchester for kick-off.
Exactly. You know, I
we don't
can't
want
take ferries. I don't like them.
So we were talking about RuPaul's. How did it all come about? How did you, A, make the decision that you wanted to be on it, and B, then go for it?
Well, it's an audition process, obviously, with the BBC.
Yeah.
But I think at the time, I'd done 5 tapes. I've done 5 years of auditions. So, from Series 1, Series 2, Series 3, Series 4,
no way.
Series 5, and I got Series 5. So, I was at a point where I was like, never gonna get it. And I just carried on doing what I was doing in Manchester, working in bars, curating, making stuff happen, creating my own events. And then I thought at the time that I was done. I was like, I've done everything in drag. I've travelled most of Europe. I've done big events all over the country. I've done a lot of prides. I've sang live. I've put on events, whatever. I was like, I think I'm done. And I was like, well, I should try this thing because it's something new.
that was a brainer.
And then after Drag Race, I've gone, I know nothing. I need to learn more. I need to learn even more stuff. You learn things from people there that you never thought you'd know before. And you do trials. Because the thing about Drag Race is it's every challenge that you do is kind of something you would have to do in drag anyway.
Right.
So it's like you'd have to host a comedy set. You'd have to, put on your own event. You'd have to, be glamorous and walk a runway. You'd have to do a dance challenge, all that kind of stuff. And so I was like, well, I've done that. I can do all of it. I'll win. But actually, there's way more layers to it than that.
Yeah, if only life was that simple.
And then I got to the 5th audition tape in the 5th year, and half a decade later, and I was just so sick of putting all this work in. I was like, I'm going to film it all on my phone. I'm going to sit in front of a mirror because I used to I had a drone for the 3rd one. I had production.
Multi-camera shoot.
I had multi-cameras because I was a film student for all of uni at Manchester Uni. Manchester Metropolitan, the Polytechnic.
Yeah.
But I was a film student, so I was like, I know all the contacts, I have all the camera knowledge, I know how to do this. So I used to make big production stuff. And then by the fifth one, I just couldn't be arsed, so I just did it on my phone, sat there, did my makeup, talked,
And
and
that's
they
the one
loved that one the most because it was most honest.
What do you have to do in them? What do they say to do?
It's literally, it's like sections. So like one section is showing looks, one section is doing an interview where you're talking about yourself and asking questions like, why are you doing this? Why are you the next drag superstar? That kind of stuff. And even I think the reason why they liked me was because my answer for why am I the next drag superstar was, I think I said something around the lines of, because I want to give all the people who gave me opportunities when I started drag back.
Nice.
You know what I mean? And it was that, like, because I'm a member now of the Family Gorgeous, and like, I was brought up by Cheddar Gorgeous and Anaphylactic and Lil and Licorice Black and, all these amazing performers.
Yeah.
So I don't have one, I'm not one drag queen, I've got 10 drag queens inside of me, in non-literal sense. But I wanted to basically be there for a new generation of queens, to be like, oh, I can do that for them now because I've got a level of power. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
Because all my gigs now are hopefully giving more local entertainers more work.
And I bet you get a lot of people coming up to you now, having seen you on the show, looking up to you.
I hope so. I mean,
I
I
bet
did
you
nothing
do.
impressive, but but I think that being a drag anyway is a superpower. So it's like,
I've heard you say that before.
So there are so many drag entertainers out there who are different, better, everything than me that are just as inspiring. It's just the fact that I had a jump pad on telly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, true. Just talk to me a bit about.
Promise of this.
Yeah, get stuck in.
Oh
get
yeah,
stuck
I
in.
do eat, by the way.
And feel free to talk with your mouth full.
Oh, I often do. Yeah, it's all good.
You say a superpower.
Yeah.
Just talk to me a bit about that. What do you mean?
Well, I think when I started drag, it was from a form of like feeling like a little queer kid who didn't really get much attention. I was very effeminate. I was bullied quite a lot, and then
Grown up in Wigan.
Wigan, yeah, in Lee, and then I sort of was kind of this queer little kid who was bullied a lot and didn't have a lot going on. So I found RuPaul's Drag Race, loved it, wanted to try it, did that, and it gave me an element of confidence that I never had.
And was this before you'd come out?
About the same time, I did it at the same time.
Okay.
But now as I've grown up in drag, not my mouthful. Those are lovely, by the way. As I've grown up in drag, I've realised that it's changed my gender identity a bit more. It's made me realise that I'm more of a non-binary femme individual, and like the fact that I'm identified a different way because of drag, and being around the people I've been around. I'm in a great bubble. I think that was the most amazing thing I got from drag, was a whole new family, what I mean? That I got to celebrate with and take me under their wing. I got parents from drag, in some way, like with Cheddar and Anna and all these amazing people I've been around.
What about outside of that bubble, though? Like the big bad world? Because, I mean, there's so much shit that you can see online now.
It's horrible.
It really is horrible.
Yeah, I think that's the thing that drag is used for by a lot of people, is an escape. And it's supposed to be, you walk into a club and you can leave everything behind.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I use drag for the most. I was having a horrible time, went through horrible things living in Manchester and whatever, but I was able to put on my glad rags and turn it off and have a great time with people on stage. And that was the superpower.
That's what it's all about.
And you drag that superpower into your day to say, like, I'm way more confident than I ever used to be because of drag. Because you're just like, well, why do I have to put on the wig to feel confident? I can just walk around and feel the same way.
But do you feel as confident if you're walking around in a hoodie and jeans?
Oh yeah.
You're at that level now.
Now I do, yeah.
And you got good reason to.
Look, that's the thing that people have been taught by drag racing, is that your suit of armour is whatever you want it to be. Women can put on a full face of makeup every day to feel confident.
Yeah.
But they don't have to.
Yeah.
They can just put on a nice little set of nails or wear that favourite Banksie shirt they wanted to wear, and that's their confidence armour.
Oh, I'm hiding behind this beard.
I feel confident.
Yeah,
Exactly.
without a doubt. So the glasses and the hat's all like a big disguise for me.
Well, I don't wear much clothes, obviously. I don't have much on at the moment, but when I do wear my hoodie.
Where do you get your clothes from, by the way? Because you dress, and for want of a better word, fabulous.
So when I started, a charity shop was my best friend. Love
Really?
a charity shop. One of the best charity shops is down the road, British Heart Foundation on near Piccadilly Gardens.
Yeah, no.
That's a great charity shop. Also, like, We used to do little swaps in the family. Like you nick a dress from this person, you borrow that from that person, da da da. But now a lot of my stuff's made by two amazing designers in Manchester called Belladonis. They make a lot of my clothes now. This is actually not made by them, but this is Chanel O'Connor, who's another drag queen who makes nice things. But they made loads of my drag race costumes. They still make loads of my like press costumes and things like that now, and they are very, very good. They work for Iris Van Herpen. They're very, very posh.
Wow.
They're very, very
Okay.
cool.
Yeah. So you're in good company.
Oh, very good company. They're tailors, darling. You know, Tillier's. That's the vibe.
Got to do it properly.
Oh.
I've heard you talking before about influence, and one of the things that thought I'm going to get on with this person is David Bowie. Big Bowie fan.
David Bowie, massive Bowie fan. Hopefully going to get some tattoos of Bowie at some point. But I love David Bowie. Changed my interpretation of what entertaining could be.
How so?
Because just the way that, one, that he was a trendsetter, but the way that he never followed anyone else's rules. It was very much, I want to do this, I want to be this, I have this in my head and my heart, and I'm going to just do it. He could have literally done, you know, like singing Suffragette City and all those amazing songs in the first album, Ziggy Stardust. They could have flopped. They could have been a massive flop, but there was part of him that knew that some audience would connect with him. Yeah. And he did, massively.
Yeah. He's amazing.
Like, oh, give the chills. There. But I love him to bits. It's annoying he's dead, but, you know.
I think the question's come up a few times throughout my life. So, who do you think the coolest man in the planet is?
Yeah.
It's got to be Bowie.
I know. I think it actually could be. The way that his wife was Iman, the supermodel. You know what I mean? Like he lived in like China for a really long time. Did you see Moon's Daydream?
Yes.
It's such a great film.
Yeah, it's
that
incredible.
was one of my favourite documentaries I've ever seen.
It's quite emotional though, isn't it?
Just the visuals. We were watching it at home, because I love home, and I was sitting in the cinema watching it, and I was on like the second row back, and the way that it moved around me, I was had like a tab of acid, and it was just like smacking me in the face. I was like, this is like actually like a full body experience at this point. It was gorgeous.
No, I'd love to have met David Bowie.
I know. I think a lot of people say that.
Yeah. How was it meeting RuPaul?
You know what? Ru is one of the most professional people I've ever met. The way that, you know, obviously, an episode of Drag Race takes days to film.
Yeah.
And it's only an hour.
Yeah.
So the amount they put out was ridiculous. But people always ask me, did you have a nice rapport with Ru? Was Ru nice to you? Da, da, da. And they never showed it on the show, on the actual final edit. But the way that she would, there was one episode where we were talking about relationships. And she stood there for 5 minutes talking to me directly about her own relationship and how that related to mine, and like we were back and forthing a lot, and the way she was like, that's so much like me and my partner, and I was like, you're giving me a lot here. Like you're supposed to be this like, you know, strong vision, you know, of who of this brand of Drag Race, and you're really opening up, and it was really nice, and she was really supportive of a lot of us, you know, and I think I found that surprising.
Yeah.
I didn't think she'd invest as much as she did in each series.
Well, that's good to know.
And I think that was quite nice, and she does speak to you like a human being.
And do you see much of her
Of her.
off camera?
I think that because she's every year, in 1 year's time, she's filming about 6 seasons of different drag races around the world.
Yeah, so
And I think that she genuinely is shattered. And I think she works so hard. I think that time where she can be by herself is like so important.
Precious,
you
yeah,
know?
of course.
So we see her when she comes into film, and like she'll come in before the cameras are on and be like, "Hi girls, da 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 da. This is what we're gonna do, and you know, how are you?" And you know, she'd call me, "Oh, tall one, come over here," and you know, da da da. She'd learn our names eventually, but eventually. But that, like, you know, she wouldn't just cameras on now, she's here, cameras off now, she's gone. She would kind of have a little bit of rapport.
But there must be so many people baying for her attention.
Oh God! And you know what? The one thing she said to me that stuck with me very, very hard was we were on the main stage and it never got aired. But she said, "Banksie, one thing I get about you is you're incredibly professional." And I went, "Oh, really?" She said, "Yeah, I can see it in you." And I was like thinking about it. It's like, well, what makes me professional? And I think the difference between me and other girls is when you do the critiques, you have to wait for every judge to say their critiques.
Yeah.
She says, "Be quiet," and then at the end, or if they ask you a question, then you can speak. And I'd be like, "Okay," and I'd stand there and they'd do all the critiques. I'd be like, fully no speaking. At the end, I'd go, "Thanks very much. Do you have any questions?" And then I do it exactly how they told us to do it. Some girls would be like, "Love that hair." "Girl, I love that hair. That's amazing. Thank you so much for saying that." And I'd be like, "You're not supposed to speak.
Yeah.
We're supposed to wait. There's a continuity error now that we're gonna have to fix." Like, because I come from like a film side.
See, some people might say that's teacher's pet.
I'd love to be teacher's pet. She's got a crown. I'll be happy. She actually picks. People don't think that RuPaul picks what happens. I think obviously there's a production element to it all.
Yeah, of course.
But when it gets that bottom two in the lip sync, and they've done the lip sync, and they're deciding who goes home, that is Ru's decision. And the producers will, if she does the decision that they're not expecting, the producers will be like, oh shit, we've got to change everything now, and we've got to do all this. And I think that Ru still has that autonomy in all of Drag Race.
Power, innit?
Yeah, and it's her show, it's her name on the
Yeah, of
board.
course.
It's her name there,
I liked that after you heard the regrettable phrase "sashay away," you insisted on just doing one more catwalk.
You've got to make a mark.
I loved it. I thought that was brilliant.
I also didn't want to go. I was like, I can't just walk out of here.
We gutted.
I've got to feel this. Yeah, what's that again?
Were you gutted?
Yeah.
I'll believe that.
Well, I had two feelings. I was exhausted by that point because, by that point it was 3.5 weeks of corsets every day, being taped back, having like loads of like things strapped to your head and all this kind of stuff. And then I was really tired. I wasn't, you don't sleep very well because you're in a new environment and you're stressed about what happened the day before and all this kind of things. And then as I was leaving, I was like, oh my God, I could really use a nap, but I could really use going back home. And, I really, really want a salt and pepper from the shop down the road. But then also I missed my partner at the time, my ex-partner, and I really missed them. But then at the same time, I was like, I could have stayed 2 more days. I could have done 2 more days. I could have pushed it a bit further. And it's just sad that it's I'd had a badge, I'd done some wins, I'd done quite well, and then to one slip up and you're gone.
You had a genuinely good run though, and I know
I got such an amazing fan base out of it. It's
a lot of
incredible.
people thought you were going to win. A lot of people, they couldn't believe.
Even the winner thought I was going to win. Ginger Johnson said, I thought you were going to be in the top with us.
Have you stayed in touch?
Oh yeah. Ginger's currently at the Edinburgh Fringe doing her show, Ginger Johnson Blows Off, as well as Kate Butch, who is in Wuthering Shikes at the moment. I literally am there. I could be PR for them. I know everything about what they're doing at the moment. But,
it's a sign of a good friend.
But the three of us have kept very much in touch throughout all of it. Me, Ginger, and Kate.
That's good.
Very, very close. We have a great group chat.
I can only imagine.
Cracking group chat.
I imagine life has changed dramatically since you've come out.
Roger.
It must, opportunities and fan base.
I've got just amazing. Not so. Such a greedy pig, honestly. Also, I'm not putting nails on for the day. It's never happening.
I understand.
You didn't either, so it's fine.
I didn't know.
No.
I did clean them though.
Well done.
Thank you.
Washed your hands for the first time in
I
2
did,
weeks.
yeah.
Well done. What was I saying?
How life has
changes.
changed.
Yeah, life's changed massively. I mean, I've managed to travel the world a bit more and do some great gigs and connect with some great brands and also do some great philanthropy and things like that, which is what I like doing. And currently I work with Barry Hospice, things like that, and I've worked with GHT before and all those amazing
Good on you.
charities
Yep,
and
good on
things. But the ability to work within the community still and have a bit more power within the community to speak to big bosses and go, well, I want to put on that night. Because I used to work incredibly hard to get that yes from them. And now I feel like Drag Race has given me a bit more influence to be able to get that yes a bit faster.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah, absolutely.
Same thing with what we're going to talk about with Maya and things like that. It's the ability to have a bit of cred to be like, I can make this work. I can make people come here.
Yeah. And you're, I'm cautious using this word, but a bit of an activist in terms of rights, so LGBT rights, trans rights.
Of course, yeah. Always.
You're
Trans
flying
rights are a
that
massive
flag.
thing on my part. We've luckily just got rid of a government who were incredibly horrible to us as people.
Wasn't a good time, was it?
Yeah, but we do have to work on the new government to make trans rights more inclusive because there are still some sides of the camp which are trying to use rhetoric to destroy us a little bit.
I think a lot of it.
Although I do love
see,
Angela Rayner. I will always say I love Angela Rayner.
Angela Rayner's class.
I love Angela Rayner. Have you met Angela Rayner?
I've not met Angela Rayner, but I would love to.
She is the nicest. It feels like you've gone to the shop on the corner and you've met your mate. Honestly, you bump into like the corner shop and you're passing through and a mate goes around the corner. You go, oh, are you all right? How's Susan? Great. Oh, lovely. Nice to see you. That's how it was. I met her at the Pink News Awards. She was literally. She's heard another northern accent. I think we were like, great.
Yep.
Done. Sorted.
Let's have it.
Yeah, but she's a great supporter of trans rights as well, and I really appreciate that.
All the support that is garnered is welcome, isn't it? But there's so many high-profile people on the opposite end of the scale that are just throwing down hate. J.K. Rowling.
Yeah, I mean, she wasn't JKing. She wasn't at the time.
She wasn't JK. That's a nice line.
But I just think that I find it incredibly confusing as to why someone would try and throw hate. I don't understand why hate is where you want to live your life. I believe in a karmic world. And I think that if you're constantly pushing love, then love comes back to you, and if you're constantly pushing hate, it comes back to you as well.
Yes.
Like, so these people who are taking any minority or any group of people and making them feel like they are lesser or shouldn't be in the world, it's going to come back to them someday.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm with you. Do you personally get shit?
I used to post a lot of like trans stuff on Twitter. Twitter's a horrible place to be.
It's
But
horrible.
I used to post a lot of trans stuff on Twitter, and then the TERFs find it. Like the anti-trans like lobbyists find it, and then they throw it out to their followers, and you get loads of stuff back. But that's when you just turn your phone off for a little bit.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, they can't actually hurt you on Twitter.
Yeah, they can't actually physically hurt you, but mentally.
Of course.
I mean, I've had the odd bit online.
Yeah.
I mean, nowhere near to the scale of what a lot of
It's
people
still
get.
important though.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
just a negative comment can change
Ruin
your day.
Ruins your day.
It can, in some cases, it can ruin your life.
Yeah,
You know, it's
exactly.
I think.
No one knows what the person who's taking that is going through at the time. You
No.
know what I mean? I think that's where the changes happen, because I know a lot of people who get the hate, and then they don't know that a family member has just passed, or they don't know that this has happened to them in their other life. And,
Yeah.
you know, and I think that's when people need to throw a bit more kindness in. You know what I mean? Like, we're all living in the same world. Why can't we all just live by our own means?
It's a wonderful. Yeah, can I ask, have you always had this mentality, this kind of que sera, whatever will be, let others live their lives, or have you had to learn
I think
to become more like
my
this?
parents were very tolerant people, and they were very like, everyone can do what they want, you just have to do what you want, you know, and it was
Yeah.
like, follow your own path, because no one else is going to do it for you, and no one else is going to help you on the way. You just got to find your own path.
True.
And so I always think of it in that sense, where I'm like, someone else is on their own path, I'm not going to get involved with that, you know. Someone asks you for help, of course you go help, but no one's going to interject your path no one can ruin your path, you know.
Yeah.
That's the way I always think about it. But I think that being in the queer community and being in this bubble, we meet a lot of different kinds of people, and I think if you just go in with a sense of like, they know what they're doing, I don't have to know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And if they're doing something bad, let the police deal with it. I'm not a fucking officer of the law. No, in this league.
Yeah.
No.
I am not a detective.
I'm not a detective.
But the positives, though,
Yeah.
do you get? I mean, never mind social media.
More
but
money?
it's-
Yeah. No.
Yeah. Listen, it can't buy happiness, but it helps.
No, it does. You know, it does. You know, we're trying to up, as there's a cost of living crisis at the moment. We are trying to get bars to up finances for a lot of other bars around the UK.
Yeah.
To make sure that everyone's getting paid a working wage. And I think that was the one thing I got from Drag Race, was that as we went into a cost of living crisis, my fee went slightly up. And so it was like, why can't everyone have more money? Give everyone a bit more money, it would work. They're making thousands a night, give them some more money.
And how is the scene in Manchester? Is it thriving? Is it top of the game? Or?
I think it is top of the game, but it's always changing. So you have different elements of the scene. So you have more of like the club life scene, which, you know, you have like White Hotel and Partisan and like Homer Block and all those places, where it feels like that kind of style. And then you have sort of the alternative world, where it's sort of, you know, the small underground places like this and the smaller cabarets, and then you have Canal Street, which is just a whole new thriving thing. And it's so nice to be back in Canal Street doing things there, because it really is like the queer mecca at the moment, and it's lovely to be there.
We had some family come over from Germany. My wife's German, so we had two nieces come over. One of them's only, I think she's 13, and she lives in this small little village in Germany, in the south of Germany. She came to Manchester. I want to see Canal Street.
Yeah.
I want to see Canal
World
Street.
famous.
Yeah?
It's like San Francisco. It's like all these amazing places. And
relatively new to the area is Maya.
Maya. Say it again.
Relatively new to the area is Maya.
Maya, yes.
And you're curating your own thing now, aren't you? Taking over the place.
Well, we are for Pride. Hopefully we can take it further into the year, is what my plan is. But it's the Banksie X Studio 24 takeover for the weekend. It's 4 days of fully programmed queer joy and love. And I'm just going to tell you the breakdown because it's really fun. But on the Thursday, which is the 22nd, yes, I'm going to get this right because Pride, my brain goes mental. But the 22nd is, we've got a full trans night at Maya downstairs. and it's called Cashmere. It's run by two amazing trans artists on Canal Street, Kindlin and Angel Pinks.
Nice.
They were really quite new and fresh, but we're trying to give that sort of new, fresh identity to sort of trans sites. We used to have an amazing trans bar called Napoleon's on Canal Street that was shut down over COVID. So there isn't really a spot anymore for trans people to feel safe and welcome and sort of have a place where they have a sort of community of trans individuals. So we're hoping that night's going to be something quite important in Manchester. And then on Friday, my good friend Lil's club night guest list is going to be there, and we're doing a show at Pride called Runway, which is opening Pride on the Friday in the Mankini stage, which is basically a huge fashion show rave that's happening in a car park. It's going to basically be funded for 3 designers to have money to make their collections. So these amazing fashion collections that are going to be runwayed during the club and performances and all this stuff. And then at Maya on the evening is the after pie, where it's going to be, are you on the guest list? Are you fashionable? Are you cool? Come in, it'll be great.
You're just doing all the things you love, aren't you?
I know, I get to that
Catwalk,
wrong.
music, fashion.
Fashion, trans, all the amazing things. No. And then Saturday is Studio 24, which is it's just going to be a cool disco nonsense. It's going to be brill. It's going to be, we've got Brit Treason, we've got some amazing performers like Kindlin and Flesh and Jordan Horowitz and Johnny Humes, who are going to be like hosting the entire night. It's been really, really fun. And then Sunday is the Cavalcade Takeover, which is the fetish night, which is going to end Pride with latex and circus.
Yes.
Which I think we need more latex and circus in life, I think. So it's going to be a lot of chaos, but a lot of fun.
Tell you what, it does sound like a lot of fun and a lot of chaos,
Yeah.
but I know one thing for a fact is you're going to be knackered.
That's not even all I'm doing over Pride. I'm literally
There's
running.
more.
I'm running from like stage to stage as all this is happening.
In those heels?
Bigger heels than this. These are flat. These are my day shoes. These are the day shoes. I'm not showing them on camera. But the entire weekend of Pride, I think I counted up as like 18 gigs, something like that.
Jesus.
And so I've got a little bit of main stage, a little bit of other things, like we're doing a pageant here. Our first ever Mischief Cabaret pageant's going to be here. But I'm really, really excited about what we're going to do at Maya, because I think it's just so nice to give a venue a new breath of life into the queer community. 'Cause,
Yes.
they obviously they have venues all around the world, but this is their first one in a strictly queer neighbourhood, really. A strip that has been known to be queer for the last
of course.
50 years.
Yeah.
And I think that they obviously needed to have a strapping young lass like me to come in.
Strapping
young lass to come in and tell them how to basically welcome in this community, because they want this community in there.
Yeah.
We've got an amazing bouncer staff team. We've got an amazing host staff team. We're going to make everyone feel welcome, and it's basically Michelin star at this point, the food. If you're over the weekend,
Without a doubt
it's so good.
Yeah, it's some of the best food I've eaten in Manchester in a long time. It's
and
great.
then you also have the cocktails, which are literally, you wouldn't get that kind of cocktail in Soho in London. That's how good it is.
Yeah.
So there's so much going on, and we just need to be able to show the public, and especially over Pride, what's going on there, and how much better it's going to be.
Well, you are the person for that job.
Well, I basically need to get on the soapbox every day to make this happen, so I'm
listen,
happy to do it.
I'm starting to feel a bit bad for taking up your time, because it sounds like you've got a lot on.
Just to have some free food is good for me.
Well, let's see. Listen, Banksie, thanks so much for talking to me. I really,
I'm
really
hoping not a
appreciate it.
shaker.
Come on.
Mwah.